Hi, everybody. I'm Ildi,
Hello. And I'm Ben.
and that
Sorry,
no,
messed it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's Ben. Anyway, what we are going to do, we are continuing our tradition. It's been a 2 year long or 3 year tradition, 3 years tradition now. We are going to react to and basically review the new BTS album song by song. Like, if you guys are interested, we literally did this for the Tear album, for the Love Yourself Answer album. So we have a lot of things to cover. And luckily, the reaction so far has been very, very lovely. So thank you so much for your support. And we actually like doing this because we usually look at stuff like very much in detail. So we discuss everything there is to discuss when it comes to this. So the next song is not Fly Me to the Moon, but Fly to My Room. I do wonder what this song is about because
Same here.
and this is a unit song as far as I can see. So we have Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, and V. Whoa.
Okay.
Strong quartet. Okay. We shall see. Let's just dive into it because guys, we haven't listened to the album yet, so this is brand new. Okay, countdown. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so far I like the chords.
Yeah, kind of organ.
It's very R&B-ish, this singing. Isn't it? Oh, wow. It's kind of interesting. I would like to fly out of my room.
Yeah, surely.
Oh, I just love the church organ. Like, just give me more of that.
Yeah.
A very pointed, good. Sorry, I got caught up. Okay, so what about the lyrics here? Okay, this is very much my mood. I think I will listen to this again and will enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
Okay, now I get it.
I get it more now, yeah. I wasn't sure where they were going with it to start off with.
Yeah, exactly. This is like an ode to my own room.
Yeah. This is like a introvert anthem.
Yeah, we had a quarantine anthem, an introvert anthem.
Everything's an anthem for someone.
Yeah. This is like these are like identity music, right? These days, that's like definitely a trend. You select songs that define your identity. Oh, okay.
Loving the symbols.
Yeah. Oh, this is me. Okay, 100%. I'm sold on this song. Very much in love.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember how I loved Friends as well from the previous album? And I
Oh
think that
yeah.
became my favorite. That became my favorite song. Oh, and the song finished. Oh, sorry, we just
That was
talked
quick.
over it, but yeah, very interesting. And I remember how much I loved Friends. And actually, looking back, if I were to look at on Spotify, like which are the songs that I listened to the most from the previous album, I think Friends might be the first on the top of
Interesting.
the list because it just built up so well, and especially the end, the "You are my soulmate,"
Mm.
and I'm like, oh, perfect. And then this has a very similar vibe to it, and I'm always a big fan of them attempting to sing more gospel-y songs. The chorus. Remember what you said about the harmonies in the previous song? I think this was quite the opposite, right?
I still didn't really like it. That's the harmonies. I don't know what it is that BT like Big Hit do with their vocal processing, but they just make these harmonies sound so artificial. I don't know why. Like,
That's kind of true,
just sounds like
though.
there's something wrong. Like it's not actual voices or something.
Hmm.
It's not just a BTS thing either. Like I'm not hating on BTS. This happens with TXT as well, and I don't know why. Like they just have this weird. Like, it's like I think they kind of auto tune one of the underlayers, and it makes it
Mhm.
sound really like compressed and artificial. But it's a little bit of a shame because I liked everything else in the song. I just didn't really like the whole artificial fly to my room part. Everything else was good.
You know what's interesting though, because I remember us talking about this the last album, and it's kind of interesting because we were wondering if whether this is a stylistic choice
Mm.
or whether this is something that just like a technicality that this is how they do things, and that's yeah, honestly, I would love to go into the producing room and see like what exactly is going on. But I do have to agree with you, especially TXT's previous album. I actually enjoy the live performances better. For example, there's this song, and now we are talking about big hit artist, everyone. So we're still in the realms of big hits. So just
Bear with us.
don't bear with us on this one. But we like to put things into context. So anyway, so I was listening to this song called Ghosting, from TXT, and they performed it on one of the KBS radio channels. And it sounded actually, in my personal taste, it sounded better than the recording, because in the recording every voice is melted together, and it all sounds like an echo from the background. And obviously it adds to the story of like somebody just disappears and you can only hear the echo of them, and because they ghosted you, and etc etc, and like how this whole year just went by without in a blink of an eye, etc. But in terms of the musical experience, I did enjoy the live performance better
Mm.
because their voices sounded richer. I think this is the metallic artificial sound kind of takes away the richness of their voice somehow, and
This
it's
is exactly my
it's
problem.
okay. Yeah, and I think that every time when I hear these things, but maybe it's also comes from the musical genre. Like when it comes to this sort of R&B vibe and gospel vibes, everything, it's related to live music so much. This is how we usually hear it. It's a live recording. It's not something that like you listened to from a studio album. That's something that you
Exactly.
you go to the place, you go to concert, and even if you listen to it, it is a live recording.
Yeah.
So
Even
yeah,
with
okay.
gospel type stuff, especially like even on recording, it's the imperfections that make it so great. Usually, if everything was absolutely
Mhm.
immaculate, it wouldn't sound as great as it does a lot of the time. Gospel, but when you tweak those imperfections, I think it makes it a lot less interesting.
It's interesting as well. I mean, lostness interesting. But what I was wondering when it comes to imperfections, there were BTS songs when they were highlighted these imperfections. I would say
Mm.
almost remember the ballad that we all both expected to, just blow up at the end, and then nothing happened.
Oh,
Uh,
Truth Untold.
Truth Untold, which is an absolute like people love Truth Untold,
Mm.
and I remember we were watching it and like till 4 minute 32 we were like, okay, so where are the guitars, where is the bass, etc etc. But anyway, and it was an interesting song because in that I remember that we talked a lot about like the vocals, and there were a lot of imperfections that they just let them sing without perfecting their voice afterwards, or like the cracks in Jimin's voice and stuff. So
Mm.
I think this has been fine tuned a bit more.
Yeah.
But I don't know, have you seen live performances from BTS recently?
Oh God, what was the last one I even watched? I watched them do like Dynamite on one of the American shows, but that was, I think, mostly pre-recorded anyway, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been performing a lot these days in terms of live performances, and I think I would like you to watch a couple because I'm kind of curious about like, okay, so what do you think about the vocals and stuff? Because some of them, for me, there was this NPR Tiny Desk performance, for example, that just sounded brilliant, and I
Mm.
don't know what they did, and I'm hoping, secretly in my heart that they did nothing because that would mean that they sound even better off like they sound even better off camera or they sound even better live than they do on the recording
Mm.
because honestly I was very very pleasantly surprised even though I'm a huge army and seen I don't know thousands and thousands of hours of footage and had the privilege to see them live as well but I don't know what happened there but it was marvelous. It was really really amazing live performance singing wise. So I am wondering look why the difference is
Hmm. I'll have to
between
take a
live
look.
performances and the recording.
Hmm.
Yeah, honestly I think you would find it interesting because yeah. And then there's definitely that richness in their voice, and then obviously they're experimenting more when it comes to live recordings. So they just like they're not going to sing, off the book, and just like okay, this is exactly how it's going to go, note by note. I'm going to do the exact same runs, etc. But I kind of find it interesting. Anyway, when it comes to the entire song, I think it put me in a great mood. But we didn't get the message at first.
No, it took a while. We were like, "Hang on, what are they talking about? I'm not sure what this is." But yeah, it's an ode to how comfortable your room is.
Yeah, well, it's kind of interesting because your room can feel like a cage sometimes, especially during these quarantine times. Like I I wanted to decorate the room and do something with it, but then I stopped and haven't done anything. And I think it was with Zozo as well. We made like a May action plan that had almost like a day by day routine, like how we're gonna turn our life around, and she's gonna record 1,000 covers,
Oh, she's been
and
going
then I
mad on the
will.
covers though.
Oh yeah, I mean,
So many.
she is recording. She's recording a lot of covers, but I remember that we had this thing going on, and it's almost while that room gives you a lot of opportunity to okay to finally finish things because if you are stuck there then you have to sort out your immediate surroundings and like when we are now that we are stuck we have to sort out our immediate surroundings of like and but for me a lot of the times for example the immediate surrounding on myself to deal with myself I mean it's quite difficult. I'm one of those people who likes to run away instead of solving the problem at hand
Same.
and and I rather decide to move away from the country than to facing the reality or something like that. So it's like it goes to the extreme. But when it comes to this room and stuff, maybe this time around, the second round of quarantine and lockdown will bring a change. But I actually haven't looked at my room that way at all. So this was quite a refreshing message for me.
Mm.
I,
But I
maybe
guess
this is
that's
why.
probably because you're quite extroverted. So you'd rather be
Yeah.
out and about meeting people, doing stuff. Whereas some people like I know Ksenia is very introverted. She loves being at home. Like I think she would vibe with this song super hard
Yeah,
for sure.
we should
Like
we should send it to her. I think she would enjoy this very much. But
yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. You know what I noticed that I nowadays I'm turning into here I'm spreading the British tradition of small talk in Hungary. Uh, every single time I meet someone, I desperately want to have a small talk with people because I'm one of these like energy vampire people. Like I get my energy off others.
Mm.
So it's like I'm actually not. I either act out scenes or like sing or do whatever or pretend to be something else when I'm alone. But it's sometimes hard for me to be with myself. I think I don't like being in silence. That's like a very scary thing.
Mm.
Um, so it's so for me I'm just making small talk with everybody because I want to know their story.
Mm.
So the other day when I went out and I just got some groceries and stuff, a like, I met a guy who was delivering groceries, and I talked with him for like 10 minutes. Just like, okay, so how is your life? And like, so you were, you had a restaurant, but now, so this is how it's going. How many hours do you work? What is the pay? So I got to his entire life story. And yeah, I do these things all the time. So I talk with the most random people just because I miss being around people.
Have you been doing the classic, well, sir, have you seen the weather we're having today? Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah,
God, look at this sunshine. I heard it's going to rain later.
100%. But the thing is, obviously, there's a cultural difference between the UK and Hungary. So here, people don't necessarily do small talk. They either talk seriously, aka they're going to tell you their actual life story about, like, how their wife left them or something,
Oh.
or they would close down and just like, well, the weather is shit. What is there to talk about?
We do an elongated version of that here.
So it's almost like you either like completely just like get a wall, or like, I think it takes a bit of time, probably a couple of few drinks, and then you will become best friends with those people. So they are like, that's the kind of weird cultural thing here. But anyway, I think it's one of those actually surprisingly thought-provoking concepts of a song. So that was the second song of the album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Should we say something to wrap up? Do you have anything to add, or should we go to the next song?
I feel like we've covered most about this song, right? I mean, I think we both liked it.
Absolutely. I think this is a yes from us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with that, we are going to go on to the next song and see you guys in the next video.